Are you sick of everything yet? Are you sick of it yet? Are you sick of our corrupt government, our educational systems of indoctrination? Are you sick of big pharma and our fucking sick care system? Are you sick of our food being poisoned and nothing being done by our government to change the laws to make sure we can't be poisoned? Oh, that's right, because they're the ones poisoning us. I forgot. Like and share this before it gets taken down, by the way. I want you to understand something. If we would heal our government and heal and transform this system of enslavement, we would make sure that every person in government actually functioned as the vibrational frequencies of the universal ways of oneness. It's a becoming. You have to evolve and become better people. It's time for us to be better. And it is time for us to not just be better for ourselves, evolve, raise our level of consciousness for ourselves as individuals, for our relationships, for our lives, for our quality of life. Okay? It is time that we had some no bullshit that we put out into the world for our government and the powers that be, for our so-called leaders who aren't leaders at all. Okay? They are slave owners, and you've been the slaves, in case you didn't know that by now. I want you to understand that our government, the people in charge, our leaders, lack responsibility. They lack responsibility. First of all, they lack every goddamn way of oneness. Scan the ways of oneness. Okay? But think about it. The way of truth. You think our government and the powers that be, our leaders, actually function as the way of truth? Do you think they function in divine connection with the people that they are supposed to be in service to? Do you think they function in the way of harmlessness and gentleness? They wouldn't be poisoning our food if they did. They wouldn't be harming us with big pharma if they functioned at this level of consciousness, at the way of equality, at the way of trust. Oh my God, if our government was the way of selfless service, the way they're supposed to be, I mean, miracles do happen, but they don't happen if you sit passively by and keep watching the fucking circus out there, thinking that you need to vote for the two main people that are rigged and put in front of us to vote for. It's a goddamn circus. It's all fake. If you haven't figured that out by now, you lack the way of wisdom. Let that sink in. It is time to wake up of what the powers that be, our so-called leaders, are lacking. They lack divinity. They lack consciousness. Are you sick of it yet? Are you sick of it enough to rise up yourself in a revolution? And that doesn't mean that you stay at your low level of enslaved victim consciousness, hate consciousness, inequality consciousness, and you just fight people that you don't like and don't agree with. You're just as bad as the fucking government who enslaves you if that's what you're doing. Just as bad. You're the same. It means, are you sick of this shit enough that you are ready to be involved in a revolution? And that means a divine revolution where you, as an individual, your family, your spouse, your partner, you choose to become each and every way of the universal ways of oneness. These are enlightened vibrational frequencies for you to evolve into, connect to the most powerful divine you that you can connect to. And then, because you are that enlightened, you are that elevated, you then demand, you command with your divine power for leaders of the world, for leaders of our country to do the goddamn same. And you don't settle for anything less than that. And you want to know how you can command that? Because you first become it yourself. That's what real power is. It isn't just fighting back and fighting against things you don't like. Get out of your childish immaturity and connect to your real power, your light, your divine power that has no fucking fear of idiots that continue to try to enslave you and assume you're all stupid. You want to know how to embark on a spiritual revolution, a divine revolution where you say no more. I have zero tolerance for being robbed blind by being taxed 27 times on the same goddamn thing, working my ass off to earn all the money that I earn, only for you to take almost all of it to fill your fat fucking pockets while you sit and do nothing that you're supposed to do, and you're supposed to be our leaders. Remember the way of selfless service. You're supposed to be serving us. They are supposed to be in the way of selfless service for us, creating the way of harmony for all of us together. All of us are supposed to be doing this together. Are you sick of it yet? And if all you do is bitch and complain, and in your ignorance pick a side, Democrat or Republican, and fight against the opposing side, you're a brainwashed slave. Are you sick of it yet? Because if you're sick of it enough, if you're sick of the suffering enough, it means you are finally willing to become a mystical warrior, a divine warrior who will settle for nothing less for themselves as an individual, but to become each and every goddamn enlightened vibrational frequency of oneness that you can become. And together, as we do that, we will take over all of the negativity, all of the slave owners who continue to attempt to brainwash us, make us sick, and keep us sick. Are you sick of it yet? If so, you better put your action, your becoming an evolved being where your fucking mouth is. If you're not willing to do that, sit down and shut up because you're too weak and powerless yet. You want to connect to your real power? Show us what you're made of. Become an enlightened being, and then let's join together and remove everyone who is not from their positions of power. We can do it if we become oneness consciousness together. Let that sink in. Show me what you're made of.